Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Eitan.
Welcome back to the 30th episode of the Younger Half podcast. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, 30. It's a lot.
We are two 14-year boys from New Jersey who discuss, debate, and share insights and everything from history to politics, sports, current events, and more. Follow us on Instagram at Younger Half and on all other social media platforms to see more of our podcasts. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform at Younger Half. Sorry, you can also check out our YouTube channel to see our faces during our podcast at Younger Half. And if you'd like to help grow the podcast by supporting us with a monthly donation, head to anchor.fm/theyoungerhalf/support or click on the link in the description. We have a historic week in United States history. Obviously not good historic.
Yes, but a lot of things unfolded, as everyone knows.
Right.
We're here to break it down, Josh.
Of course. So that's what we got. I think that's our whole episode here. I think.
Got some sports, don't worry.
We got some sports. We also come on, don't worry, guys. We still have our trivia question and answer. Speaking of,
you want to sponsor that, obviously, hit us up.
Yep, email at theyoungerhalf@gmail.com if you have any feedback. Let us know. If also leave a review, leave a 5-star review, leave a written review on any whatever platform you listen to. Helps the algorithm. So go ahead and do that. And also we mentioned this, but go subscribe to us on YouTube. We have not a main focus, but go ahead and do that. So let's get into it. For the trivia question, Eitan, do you know your United States history well?
We'll see. This will test.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this is the same thing. Eitan does not know the question, right. And we'll see if he knows the answer. So I wasn't sure if this was too easy because this is also like fifth grade history class. So let's see. The Statue of Liberty.
The pressure.
The Statue of Liberty was given to the United States by which country?
Oh, I know this one. I think I know this one.
I figured most people would, but I wasn't sure. I
think that's a good question. I mean,
right, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, I think I know it. We'll see at the end, right?
Indeed.
At the end, should I say my guess before you say the answer?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll work on. We'll get there. So yeah, guys, as we said, historic week. We know this is roughly gonna be a week or so after the events unfolded, a little more than a week, and we're not here to give you the facts. We're here to break it down and really tell you what happened, what we think. And I know there's a lot circulating about this compared to BLM and, endless amount of whatever you want to call them. But so just to break down what happened, I think everyone knows this, but, a group or a little more than a group, I don't know, a few hundred, maybe more people gathered.
Minor group, just a minor group.
Yeah, a couple guys here and there, but people did storm into the Capitol building during the hearing of.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know that already,
Biden.
Then I mean, I'm not exactly sure what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, download Twitter, follow the Younger Half.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that I was actually texting you during that, I was in class, I'm on Zoom, whatever, in quarantine, but you were texting
that's just a minor.
Eitan, check what's happening in the Capitol. I'm like, what's happening? And I go back to the live stream. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I just went to Twitter and there's all these videos. So I mean, yes, these people dressed in MAGA gear and Trump gear and stormed the Capitol, broke into buildings. 5 people are dead. A 6th person just committed suicide, an officer who was on patrol that day. I don't know the full story about that. Yeah, that just happened an hour ago.
How many total people dead now? 5 or 6?
If you're including the person that committed suicide, the officer, then that would be 6 people. I mean, there are a few injured, so hopefully they come out okay. But yeah, so Nancy Pelosi's I think it's called a lectern or whatever.
Yeah, pedestal
all her stuff,
or whatever.
Yeah, her stuff was stolen, windows were broken, papers were thrown.
That guy is that guy's famous now. That picture.
That was that was yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah, his facial expression. His facial expression was a little different in his mugshot today.
Yeah, I know. I saw the side by sides. Also, the guy that had his feet up, like hands back, on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and that wrote like I don't know, whatever, stole her mail. Actually,
Oh,
he
really?
just got charged
That's
with.
like a
Well, he
big
got
crime,
charged.
isn't it?
Yeah, he got charged with 3 federal crimes. I mean,
Yeah,
people
that's
are
not a good idea.
arrested left and right, and I mean,
Good.
let's get into yeah. I mean, let's get into the outcome because Josh was talking about this. I'm like, yeah, underratedly, so much happened because of this.
Yeah.
People would call it inciting a riot, or
Yeah,
it's an attack on our
yeah,
democracy, and
yeah,
you know,
a million GOP representatives have, came out against Trump now.
yeah, I mean, like Lindsey Graham was attacked for at the airport because he spoke out against Trump, and I mean, few people resigned. People in the White House are genuinely scared because
there's a
Trump's freaking out.
there's a
Yeah.
trend on there's a trend on Twitter. I think it was called hashtag kill Pence, something like that.
Oh, hang Mike Pence. Yeah, it
Hang
was
Mike Pence,
removed
yeah,
from
yeah.
the. It had fourteen
Which is
thousand
like
tweets, and it was quick. It
it's
was
like real
removed.
classy, guys, real classy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was Trump people, right? I don't know. Obviously, it doesn't matter, but like, it's crazy. Like, because they're very mad that he certified Biden to be president. Because Biden won the election.
Right.
So let me tell you some of the outcomes. I'm actually gonna tell you something that I don't know if everyone knew. I texted this to Josh, but I'm just gonna roll through it and we'll get into it. So Nancy Pelosi is bringing impeachment because
Well,
Pence would invoke the
let's
25th.
let's go one by one, and we'll talk about each of them.
All right, fine, fine. So impeachment. Pence said. I
I
mean,
think that was
according
just
to
breaking news just a few minutes ago. Or I know that there
yeah,
was going to be brought forth, but she was actually bringing it forth like
Monday. Yeah.
yeah, Monday, right?
So I mean,
Oh
there
yeah,
was
I'll
a
let you
few
talk. Go
reports
ahead.
from yeah. So there are a few reports from a Republican news source that Pence wasn't invoking the 25th, which would be removing Trump from power. So
Yeah,
Nancy Pelosi's like, fine, I'll do my
break
yeah,
down
yeah.
the. Sorry, I keep interrupting, but
No, it's fine. Go
break
ahead.
down the 25th Amendment for those who
So
don't
it's
fully
pretty
know what it
much
is.
the vice president, or I think a few other people, but it's really the vice president removes a president from office because that president is unfit. The president does, this is where it gets a little complicated, does have the option to veto it if he feels that
Which is
he
ridiculous.
is perfectly sane, but then that means it just goes to Congress, and then they have to approve it. So it gets really complicated because, I don't think Trump's gonna, okay, you caught me, like hands up, walks out of the White House. So obviously he's gonna veto it. So, Pence just pretty much, according to, OANN and like a few other news sources, that he's just not invoking it. So Pelosi's like, fine, he's an imminent threat to our democracy and we need to remove him. And yeah, so she has articles of impeachment down for treason and going against the U.S. government or something along those lines. So I mean, we'll see. We know from February. No, it was actually January because I remember I was in Florida. This was right before Corona. Trump was actually impeached, and this took like a month or so. So I don't
Yeah,
know how. This
that was the Ukraine thing, right?
yeah, a few things. Um, but yeah, so I don't know how, Biden's gonna be president and they're gonna be still arguing about Trump. I don't know how, like, they're gonna rush impeachment.
Yeah.
It
Small
doesn't make
detail.
sense.
President like Joe Biden is being sworn in 10 days. So like,
Yeah,
what is
we're
their
like three
plan
days
here?
for everyone listening. So I don't know. And I mean, like, did you see this security? New Jersey sent 500 National Guardsmen. New York sent 2,000. DC sent 2,000. They have almost around, and like from a few other states, they
Right now
almost
they
have
have
10,000. Yeah, 10,000 Army men protecting his inauguration. They have 7-foot non-scalable fences around like the entire perimeter of the inauguration. They're like
this is
so scared that
for the inauguration. You're saying
yeah, because they're so scared of what's gonna
they're
happen. Like they don't
already
want
prepping.
Biden,
Wow.
obviously. Yeah, they don't want Biden to be shot. They have literally everything's on lockdown, and yeah, it's crazy. People were also saying like, oh, it was a super spreader event on Capitol Hill. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah,
So
speaking of the inauguration, my dad, Trump tweeted out, which we'll get into his social media accounts later, that he won't be attending the inauguration. So my dad showed me a tweet that was a reply to that, or maybe it was Aton, one of those. I think it might have been you. I don't know. My dad
No one
Aton.
cares or something like that.
Yeah, or yeah, like good, or like good, like nobody wants you there, like something like that.
It
Like
was the best thing. Biden said, "I'm so happy me and the president finally agree on something." That's what his response was. That was great. That was great. So, I mean, I think
that's a good
Pence is going
response.
to be there. Pence is going to
Thanks.
be there though. So yeah, so impeachment Monday for those listening a few days ago. I don't know how this gonna unfold. I don't know if they're gonna just rush through
Well,
it.
also
You,
I
yeah.
think it might have been you who told me, or somebody told me that if he gets impeached, then he can't run again. I think, right?
Yeah, that is the biggest thing. That was they're not trying to remove him from office. 10 days I think they can survive, but they're trying to prevent him from, real being reelected in whatever future.
Right.
And I think this time is different. In we saw in last impeachment, which is funny. You'd never think you say that about a president. The last time he was impeached.
Yeah.
But we saw that it was like it was 50 it was 50-51 or whatever for the impeachment. Literally everything was split except for Mitt
Hold
Romney.
on. Can I interrupt with some
Yeah.
sports breaking news? And on the topic of President Trump, Bill Belichick will be receiving the Medal of Freedom
No
on
way.
this Thursday. Bill Belichick, Patriots head coach.
So, what? That's crazy. Also, breaking news just got alert. Democrats will call on Vice President to invoke the 25th to remove Trump. If that fails, impeachment could follow.
Well, I mean,
So,
I think that's like slightly old because I think Pelosi um is going to be bringing in impeachment. And also, I don't I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what will happen with the 25th, but I don't 25th Amendment,
yeah, I don't think.
January 25th, but
I mean, I
I
want to
don't
talk.
see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see also, but on while talking a little bit about Mike Pence, he actually unfollowed Trump from
I
Twitter.
You sent me that. That was funny.
That was so funny. I don't think anyone really caught on to that, but I mean, everyone listening, but it actually did like go a little viral on Twitter, and he quickly followed him back. But it was, I mean, now no one can follow Trump, which we'll get to. But so yeah, I thought that was interesting. So yeah, the next thing is this is a long list. So first you got impeachment. Next, or invoking the 25th. Next we got, which would be the first time a president being impeached twice, and then we got Trump concedes. It was a concession speech that was a video posted through Twitter that felt like a hostage video. People were joking that Mike Pence had an AK-47 behind the camera and saying like "say it." He literally sounded like he would, and like people close to him were saying that Trump is regretting it and never wanted to say it and didn't want to admit it. And people were also saying in the video he missed a few words. Biden's name. He just said there will be another administration. He refused to acknowledge that it'll
Uh,
be Biden. So I mean, yeah. So we have impeachment. First time, it could be twice.
well, yeah.
We have everything. It's
Let's talk a
crazy.
little about the
Concession
concession.
hostage
So
video.
I mean, I think it's interesting how really we've been saying this for a while, back all the way back um from you mad bro, which is like around late November or so. We've been
Right.
saying how it's really threatening democracy, and um
It's a little
finally
late,
after yeah, just slightly, uh I mean, crazy
slightly.
how like this is the fall right now, like the current fall of Donald Trump is historic. We've just never seen such a, like, not I'm not handing over power, like, or everything like that.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it's
like it
crazy.
went from a pretty bad president, but now like the way he's ending this off is worst president. I mean, like it's just crazy. He's just destroying his, whatever legacy you can say he has. He's just like, ripping it up piece by piece.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think, yeah, and also like, just like the garbage I was there. He's just trying to protect the integrity of the election. Like, oh, okay, like,
I mean, also, people are saying the main reason was because Trump's lawyers actually said he could be charged with treason and several things. He could be charged
yeah,
for
for
like
just
inciting a
asking
riot
or
and stuff,
the
because
Georgia secretary just to find some votes or everything like that.
not
Last
even
week's
that, like
episode, like,
also about Capitol Hill, like he could be charged if he didn't say like he didn't mean to incite a riot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that video is crazy. And then now there is, I feel like there's always been, but now there is calls for Trump to resign. I think people have been saying this from day one,
Shocker.
obviously. Right. But should Trump resign after as I would say, a terrorist attack on our democracy? Which is a little controversial. I know a few people that text me their feedbacks about the episode, so that'll definitely come up. But yeah. So, what do you think about, like, really, like, should Trump resign, impeachment? Like, just give us your overall thoughts, and we'll, like, dive into social media.
Excuse me. So, I mean, I think, you know, I think that, I don't even see the point in him resigning anymore. Like,
Right.
whatever. Like, it's done. Like, whatever. Everybody, like,
Yeah.
generally, people are starting to, really go against him. Like, half his cabinet has resigned, everything like that. Pence
Mm-hmm.
is, like, even slowly, there are signs,
That
about
he
everything
doesn't
like
want to
that.
do anything with him.
Just everything like that. I think that it wouldn't really make, like, a full difference.
Right.
So, I mean, you
And
know,
what do you think about what happened on Capitol Hill? You have any, like?
yeah, no, it's a good question. I heard a point from my teacher that was,
Yeah.
you know, he said, like, we see this in the news, a lot of us, and just laugh, like, wow, look how funny that guy is. Wow, look, the guy holding the pedestal, like, we're all
Right.
laughing, like how funny this is, like, look how crazy, whatever, blah blah. Like, if you really just
Right.
take a step back for a moment, and, like, it's not, like, remotely funny, like, you know what I mean? It's concerning. Like he said, like, you shouldn't be lying, you should be crying. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's insane. Like it's disgraceful, everything like that. Whether you think that there is fraud or not, put that aside. You are, like, that's like you are storming the place where our government takes place. This is like coup stuff like that happens in, like in, like, countries, like,
Also,
I don't know, like,
I want to chime in there because, like, I think that, I've heard, I think every Trump supporter that I've ever talked to has said, oh, but BLM burned down a police station, so that's worse. I personally don't care. They could have, killed everyone, like, God forbid, but, like, I don't, yeah, obviously I care, but I'm just saying the most important thing was that during the building, during the time they were storming a building that was literally that was holding a session that was our democracy. They were swearing it. They weren't swearing in, but they were they were counting in ballots for not like a for a totally legitimate election. That I think is the most important thing. They're literally attacking democracy. They're trying to prevent a president that won an election from officially being certified as president. I think that is the biggest thing. They could have not broken any windows. The fact that they ran to Mike Pence's seat at the front of the Senate and said, Mike Pence, show yourself, and said, you are a traitor. All these things. I think that's more important than stealing Nancy Pelosi's gavel and iPad. I think the biggest thing was that it was a threat, and it wasn't even a threat. It was an attack. It was an attack on our democracy, and I think that's the biggest thing. They could have done anything. They could have destroyed the entire building. The more important thing is that they were trying to prevent a process from swearing in a president that won a fair election. I think that's the biggest thing. And it just bothers me that everyone's like, oh, but the destruction. Like, I couldn't care less that they smashed the window, Josh. Like, I care a lot that they were attacking and they were trying to prevent a democratic process from taking place.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't shaking my head at you. It was because the
Yeah.
Knicks lost 114-89.
Nice.
Pretty unfortunate, but yeah, I agree with, everything you said. Like, it's like, regardless of what would happen at the BLM protests, like, that's not relevant in the slightest. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it's just not. It, it's not. It's not excusable for just raiding the Capitol building. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let's get into a little bit about the social media. So, Twitter, Facebook, and, many other social media platforms have banning Trump. Um, yeah.
Twitter's
Also,
banned him, like, permanently, and Facebook
Facebook, I
probably
think
will,
is
but
I
they
think
have
Facebook
2 weeks so
said
far.
no. I think Facebook said indefinitely.
Oh, really? So I heard 2 weeks, but they're probably gonna ban him permanently. I think he's even banned from Snapchat and like he,
Yeah. Also,
I don't
and
even know, but yeah,
Parlor, Parlor, an app known to I've never heard of this app, but never flag or take down
really,
the craziest things posted. Gets removed from the Play from Google Play Store and the App Store, and also Amazon Web Services crashed the app, so it's basically impossible to open. So
right?
a whole
So
bunch going on, like just on the internet. President of the United States was banned from like basically talking to people. I mean, is like pretty wild. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but they're independent platforms. They're not the government, so they don't really have to listen to the Constitution. They can really monitor what's on their platforms as much as they want to.
Not fully. That's not
I
fully
mean, they're
true.
independent companies. Like they
Yeah,
really
but there's
don't.
still like antitrust laws and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
They're
but
like
like
they're
there's difference between freedom
all
of
the
speech and
top
inciting violence.
all the top CEOs were in testified in Senate a few months ago. Like they they are definitely the top you know the top apps are they actually are like a lot of times have problems and everything like that. Like they really actually are involved. But I mean, yeah, it's just insane that the president of the United States can just not like communicate or anything like that. It's just like wow, like once you really start thinking about it, like when he's out of office, he's not going to be doing press conferences. Like it's not how it works when you're
Right.
that. Like so, it's insane. Like he's gonna, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, there's
wild.
literally, and also, it's uh, I'm blinking here, but a here, wait, let me see if I can find it. But a here, wait, let me open Twitter. But someone I'm blanking on the name, but here, oh yeah, Stripe. That is a um uh the service. It's also through Anchor. You know, when you support us, anchor.fm/theyoungerhalf, it goes through it goes through
Oh,
Stripe.
I saw this.
And
They stopped his Trump campaign
Yeah,
donations, right?
Trump's campaign is going through Stripe,
Unreal.
and now no one can ever donate for Trump again.
That's also wild.
That
Like
is
I
that
feel like there's
he
so
can
many
never
like
get.
I feel like there's
Yeah.
so many like underrated things like when you actually start thinking about it. Like the fact that the president cannot communicate with people. The fact that everything like that, like stuff is just really, really just starting to like hit in all time. Like I feel like when you really just start thinking about it, it's pretty wild.
Listen to this. Someone said Trump said he was silenced by Twitter, but unlike millions of people, he has a White House briefing room, an East Room, an Oval Office, and the print pool, and the print pool nearby. He could speak to. In some ways, he muzzled himself
Mm,
because
definitely
he said,
interesting.
and I wrote this down here. He's literally going ballistic. He's not able to tweet. You know, that's the biggest part of his campaign, his presidency also. He tweeting. We know that he has over 80 million followers or whatever, and over like 100,000 tweets, probably more. Few I don't know how many tweets he has, but yeah, so crazy. He's not allowed to tweet, and that's pretty much his life,
Yeah,
sad
I
as that
mean,
is. So
pretty wild, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's crazy, Josh. I mean, it was just a crazy week. I just like I don't know the exact feeling I'm feeling right now, but we just dumped so much information, like this happened on within 4 days of, some a group of people, or Trump supporters try and take over the Capitol. Like so much happened, Josh. You like just I don't know. You told me in the beginning of the episode, like, oh, like look at all the outcomes, and just lining it out. It's so crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like when you really, really think about it, it's it's crazy. That's all
Yeah.
there really is to say.
Yep. That's it.
So,
Sports.
sports. Yeah, sports. Wow. So, the NFL playoffs that's right now is the Steelers Browns game going on right now. I believe
And
the
the
Saints beat the
yeah, Saints beat the
the
Bears.
Bears, right? The what else we have? Yeah, I mean that's obviously Rams being the Seahawks.
Right.
That's an
Sounds
interesting
good.
one right
Did
there.
you see the I'm pretty sure the Ravens beat the Titans and then they danced on the Titans logo last year, January-ish, during playoffs when the Titans I think beat the Ravens. They actually did the same thing, danced on the Ravens logo. So, the Ravens gave a nice payback even though it was a year
Right,
later.
right. Um,
That was funny.
um, yeah, and right, really interesting. The NFL has a playoff game hosted by Nickelodeon. Azon, what do you got?
So yeah, I was like what? Like I saw like these few like, I follow these meme accounts. I'm like, why is everything like so colorful? And I turn on Nickelodeon and like it's an NFL playoff game and it was just funny. They during like the end zone celebration, everyone was like, oh, this was one of the best ever. They had like slime cannon shootout. Obviously it was on like virtual, it was like a graphic. And also what happened, which was funny, it was on Nickelodeon and one of the players was like near the ref who was mic'd up and screamed the F word. And Nickelodeon was
Really?
like yeah, so it was funny. Nickelodeon was like and the announcers were like these like, I don't know if they were like I don't know what they were, but they were referencing a lot of Nickelodeon shows. They're like, oh, like he was like in danger, like Henry Danger. I don't know. It was a little cringy for me, but it was interesting. I don't know what maybe they signed a deal with the NFL. I don't know. Like maybe they're trying to waste where away to whatever get the young people to the younger half to
Younger half,
follow
get it?
NFL. So I don't know what it was for, but it was a little. I cringed at it, but it was funny.
Yeah. We also
Also, I
have the
want
Knicks. My Knicks. They're now, I believe,
yeah,
now they're
and the
5-5.
Pistons.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, break down the NBA season, Josh. Anything exciting?
you
Knicks
know,
stink, I know.
let me pull up the standings. No, they've been doing significant improvements since last year.
I mean,
If I
yeah,
had
and
to
they're
be
now
honest,
going
yeah,
0 and 400.
really funny. I believe on Saturday the Sixers played with 6 people.
What?
Yeah, because of COVID list.
It's like the NFL and like the fourth string
Oy.
running back quarterback.
No, not just that. It's like, okay, they at least they still have some backups that they could just throw on from the practice team. They had 6 people.
So there's like no subs.
Yeah, they had one sub. You play with 5 people, so
Yeah, that's crazy. That is nuts. I
yeah,
didn't hear
that.
about that. That
And I
that's just
think
crazy.
today or whatever it was, the Celtics played with either 8 people, which means 3 subs. So that's wild. The Suns, they're coming off a really good bubble. They went 8-0 in the bubble, if I'm remembering correctly. They're now 7-3. So that's good. I mean, Devin Booker is one of my favorite players. The Rockets, not a great start.
Not
Three
a
and
great
four.
start.
This is obviously of Sunday, 8:25 p.m. January 10th. So bear with us if things have changed. The Knicks. I mean, technically they're top 8, but let's settle down.
Right.
And a huge blockbuster deal. Oh no, I didn't talk about this. I'm very happy. The New York Mets acquire Carlos Carrasco
Oh
and
yeah,
Francisco Lindor
Lindor.
from the Indians, which
That
is
was
that's
it's very exciting, Josh.
yes, and very exciting.
Hopefully they don't manage to mess it up. Hopefully they
Yeah,
don't
I
lose
mean, I
every
wouldn't be
game.
surprised. He's due for like not that this should happen. Obviously, he's due for like an injury and then not re-sign with the Knicks. So I mean, Aton, what do you
Mets,
think the
yeah.
trivia answer is?
I think it's France. I think. I don't know if that's wrong.
Aton, yeah,
Oh.
you're correct.
Okay,
That is
good.
correct.
You got me nervous. I knew my dad was gonna be mad if I got that wrong. So, uh,
All
I don't
right.
know. That was a
Well,
good question.
yeah. I
Stick
mean,
around for next episode. We'll see.
wasn't sure. So Aton will be doing the one for next week. So that is the end, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Follow us on Instagram at They're Gonna Have. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at They're Gonna Have. And if you want to help us grow, consider supporting us on anchor.fm/theyoungerhalf/support or click on the link in the description for questions or comments. Email us at theyoungerhalf@gmail.com. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe.